Hello there, it's Jaymz Bee. Welcome to my vodcast. Every Friday, you can find it right here on Facebook. You can find it on jaymzbee.ca or just visit YouTube. And I'm always going to tell you what's in the clubs. This week, what's in the festivals, 3 great festivals coming up this weekend, and also a couple of quick thank yous to some sponsors. If you are donating to this on Patreon, thank you. We've got a lot of people helping out here, and if everyone does a little, it works out just great. $5 a month, can you do that? Some people are doing $50 a month. Whatever you can do, I really appreciate it. Patreon.com. You can also just go to jaymzbee.ca, see my podcast every week there. Look at other things I'm working on as well. You can write to me there, and you can sign up for my newsletter only once a month. Who else do I want to thank? I want to thank Barbarian Steakhouse. It is delicious over at 7 Elm Street. And barberfinancial.com. If you have financial questions, large or small, why not call Captain Paul? If you want a brain that's substantial, why not call Barber Financial? Okay, that's all I got. We're going to move over to some clubs and then festivals, and then Alison Young is my guest, the wonderful young saxophonist, literally young, and her last name's Young. She moved here from Ottawa years ago and is just making a big splash on the scene, already nominated for a Juno. So, unbelievable girl. Everyone loves her playing so much. And she's coming from a gig last night, and it's early Friday, so probably she'll be a little bit raspy. I love her raspy voice when she's been singing and playing all night. Old Mill, Toronto. Let's start there, shall we? The Homesmith Bar, 7:30 to 10:30. No cover. $20 minimum, but that's easy enough, and lots of parking and near Old Mill Subway. Well, David Acapinti, the great guitar player, is there, joined by Terry Clark on drums and Dan Fortin on bass. Saturday, Bill McBurney, Bernie Sinensky, and Pat Collins. Now, Pat Collins is on the bass, Bernie Sinensky on piano, and Bill McBurney, one of my favorite flute players in the whole world, and he lives right here in Toronto. We are so lucky. Your mind will be blown if you go there. In fact, these guys play together so much, people just call them Bill McBurney Sinensky. They're almost spliced. oldmilltoronto.com for all the listings over there. Meanwhile, tonight at hughesroomlive.com, Red Zeppelin. It's a Led Zeppelin cover band. They don't look the same, but the songs remain the same. Okay, it's a female cover, a female singer in this band, but apparently they are fantastic. I've heard a lot about them, and this is pretty much it for a little while. They're going to take a holiday at Hughes Room Live for a couple of weeks and come back September 3rd with Robbie Botosh. So I hope they all enjoy their summer. I love that place, hughesroomlive.com for all the info. Over at Jazz Bistro, a great pianist, Brian Dickinson, is there tonight and tomorrow. He is doing the music of Bill Evans with Ethan Ardelli on drums and Jim Vivian on bass, and Brian Dickinson, jazz educator, pianist, just such a great guy. You'll love that. Wednesday, August 21st, Virginia McDonald Quartet. She's a 24-year-old clarinetist. She studied with Terry Lynn Carrington in New York. She studied with Pat LaBarbera. She's making waves here, and that should be a fun show. And then Thursday, Shannon Butcher is over at Jazz Bistro with a show called Dolly, Patsy, and More. Shannon Butcher has made many fascinating records, really digs deep into pop catalogs and finds songs and makes them her own. So that should be really cool too. Now at Lula Lounge tonight, it's Havana Club Friday. It kicks off with Junior Diaz. That's over the dinner. And then Salsa Star and DJ Suave keep the dance floor going. Live music, DJs, dancing, food, drink. It's an amazing time. Salsa Saturday, same thing. And on Sunday, they have a Brazilian dance party on Sunday as well. Monday, it's Carmen on Tap. That's opera while you dine. They do so many cool things over there. Lula.ca for that information. And 3 festivals this weekend. Prince Edward County Festival, Jane Bennett and McKay, Colleen Allen, Robbie Botosh, and more. Lots of great stuff out there in Prince Edward County. Across at the South Coast Jazz, which is Port Dover, Powder Blues Band, Eric St. Laurent, Dave Restivo, Alison Young is also playing, and she's playing there Saturday. Tonight, Alison Young, who is my guest in about 30 seconds, she's at Markham Jazz Festival, downtown Unionville. There's a beautiful stage called the Millennium Stage. I've emceed there for over a decade. And Friday night I will be bringing out, in a moment, tonight, I will be bringing out Alison Young to play music. But also coming up this weekend, downtown Unionville is crazy. There's so much going on. Michael Casehammer is in from the West Coast. Brandy Disterhef from New York City. All my favorite locals, so many of them. George Kohler, Tia Brazda, Jay Douglas, John Finley, Heather Bambrick. The list goes on and on. It's a really good lineup. MarkhamJazzFestival.com for that. And now, it's time. Here we go, folks. It's time. Here is Alison Young. Hello!
Hello!
So first of all, I'm a fan of your sax playing and your singing, but what's up with your voice today?
This is the voice of a busy jazz musician, James. I've been singing all weekend and 2 gigs a day, and I kind of like it, though. It's like I've lived.
That's right. You sound like you're a chain smoker, but you're not a chain smoker. Oh. First of all, I guess what everybody really wants to know, what was it like touring with Corey Hart? You just came off the road with Corey Hart.
It was amazing, obviously. Stadiums full of screaming fans. Like, his fans still love him, and they haven't seen him on the road in 20 years. And the first night that we did in St. John's, walking out of that stage, I was terrified. I haven't had stage fright in years. And that was just like the energy coming out of them. But then I got really into it after that. Like, it's a rush. Playing that to that size of an audience. Huge
festivals, screaming people, and it really is all about those hit songs he wrote back in the day, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, like iconic hits and lots of saxophone in that music, which is so great. And sometimes I'd look out and I could see the people in the front row singing the solos. Like, they loved the music.
So how did that gig come about? Who told Corey about you? Do you know?
Bob Ezrin, I think, was looking for suggestions, and someone gave him my name, and he called me up, and I just happened to pick up the phone, this number that I didn't know was calling, and it was Bob Ezrin, which is crazy, and he said, "Do you want to play on Corey Hart's new EP?" And I said, yes, yes, of course I do. And then met Corey at the session. I also didn't realize he'd be there, and I was a little starstruck. But,
yeah, he's kind of a a short glass of water. He's a good-looking guy.
He's a very handsome, medium glass of water, I'll say.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what are some other highlights in the last while of people that you've played with that you couldn't believe you're there?
Oh my gosh. I guess the Junos, because I performed the jazz showcase, CBC Jazz Showcase at the Junos, and Lila was on it, and Larnell, and Robbie, and Allison Au, and Mike Downs. Oh my gosh, am I leaving anybody out? It was such a combination of powerhouses, and I've run into them all in different situations, but that together was really exciting.
Now, you are super famous on the club scene, and people, whether they like R&B, New Orleans, swing, bebop, people all know you. How did you meet Allison Au? Because there's 2 Allisons in town that are both award-winning sax players.
Yeah, that was so funny. I just started hearing her name and being like, who is this person? There's not allowed to be another Allison who plays the saxophone. And once in a while people mix us up, but we're actually very different players. I don't remember the first time we met because I saw her online a whole lot and listened to her and checked her out. And then we played a gig together maybe last year, just the 2 of us fronting a quartet, and that was really fun, and she's a really wonderful musician.
But very different, right?
Very different, yeah, very different voice.
So you've been compared to, this is a long list, Sonny Rollins, Cannonball Adderley, Sonny Stitt, Dexter Gordon, Sam Butera.
I love all of those sax players so much. Yeah, please, yes. Great, keep it coming.
How would you describe finding your sound in the midst of all of that brilliance that came first?
Oh man, I guess when I was younger, I really just wanted to emulate. I heard like energy. All of those players you just listed have this really burning soul that kind of, I think, leaps out at you when you listen to them. And I really wanted to understand how to channel that, so I listened to them as much as possible, played along, and then always try to play into the music, which is a term that Terry Wilkins, the bass player, coined for me. He's like, it's great when you play into the music.
Mm-hmm. Now, what would be your first? Who was the sax player that said, "Oh my God, I love that instrument"?
Probably either Cannonball or Sonny Rollins. Both of them. They were, immediately like touched me as a listener when I didn't really understand jazz and I was just getting into it.
Sonny Rollins maybe for the artistic, like, crazy part of the brain, and then Cannonball, just the soul, which I hear a lot of Cannonball in you, or Sonny's did a lot of that soulful groove.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely the soul and just the joy, the kind of wit and joy in the playing.
So you're living in Ottawa. You're a child.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? Are you in school playing saxophone?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really great band teacher when I was in grade 7 and 8, Alison Young, and she was one of those like super energetic people who ran 2 concert bands, a musical that she wrote and directed the music for, a stage band, a choir. I don't know. She had all these, like all the students were involved in music, and they all loved it. And I heard her stage band, and like that was kind of my first experience hearing swing music and jazz, and I was like, oh my God, what does that sound? And so I asked my parents to rent me a saxophone in the summer between grade 7 and 8, and just kind of showed up with it in grade 8 and said, can I be in the stage band? And she
Wow. And did you have an affinity? I know so you wanted to do it. Did you get it quick?
Yeah, saxophone. Like I played trumpet first. I love horns, but trumpet is a really hard instrument. I don't know if you know that. It's very difficult, and I could never get a good sound. Saxophone, within the first day of playing it, I was figuring out Happy Birthday and little melodies, O Canada, and then I guess it was easier for me to stick with it because immediately it felt good and sounded all right.
So you found your instrument on the second try.
Yeah, I got lucky.
That's amazing. Your favorite clubs in Toronto. Now, I've actually made a list. I've seen you in the last year, the Rex, La Rev, the Res, Jazz Bistro, Home Smith Bar, Lula, and Hughes Room Live. Like, you played all of them.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite moments or favorite kind of vibes? I mean, obviously Reservoir Lounge is just something that it's just a party every single time. Yeah.
That place, I mean, I've been playing there every week for almost 10 years. So it's kind of my, at least once a week for almost 10 years. So it feels like my home away from home. I love that place, and it's a really fun, energetic atmosphere, and I play with great musicians there. I don't know, all of the clubs have their own special, like, character. I love the bistro because it's kind of, it's beautiful in there.
And you get to eat there too.
Oh, the food's great.
Best food around, yeah.
And the sound, I actually really like the sound in there. I never use a mic. I just set up and blow, and the acoustics are nice.
Yeah, and playing with Paul Novotny, Daniel Barnes, and Joe Seeley.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt at all. And Colin's such a great guy. Just a fun night. Yeah. Shuffle Demons. I think you're the only woman to ever play in the Shuffle Demons.
No, Brandy Distraft was a predecessor, but yes. Yep.
It's the second.
Yes, I'm the second. I'm okay following in her footsteps.
That's right. And where were you playing? Where did you play with the Shuffle Demons?
We went to Havana. We did the Havana Jazz Festival. That was really cool. That was exciting. Yeah, like I'd never been. Oh, you know what? I might have been to Cuba once before with the Jazz Safari, but not Havana. So that was really exciting.
I actually forgot about that. You and I partied till 4 or 5 in the morning several days in a row.
Yeah, we walked into the water at like 1 a.m. or something. Yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Cuba was pretty great.
I remember my leg filled with blood. It was.
You have party injury.
Where did that wave come from in the middle of the ocean at 1 a.m.?
I don't know.
Now, how would you describe your style? You love the New Orleans and the post-bop. How would you describe it to someone who hadn't heard you?
Oh gosh, I guess bluesy, maybe hard bop. I don't know, but a lot of older stuff too, because I did listen to Lester Young and the Coleman Hawkins, older sax players growing up, and then I also love funk and modern pop music. I love pop music, playing like 80s sax like I just did, or Eddie Pickett, Tower of Power. I mean, I guess that's not super modern now, but it's a more modern sound.
Yeah. So
really, I don't know, James.
It's all over the place.
Energetic, soulful, bluesy jazz, I guess.
Cool. Now, you were up for a Juno, you've been on at least 3 Juno-nominated albums I can think of. Do you think that awards are important?
Oh, good question. Yeah, I do. I think recognition is it's really important, like for the artists and for people who are who take this art really seriously. I mean, it's not everything, obviously, and also there's like many deserving people who never get nominated, but are still beloved and are still kind of stalwarts in the community. But okay, that's a good question, James. I think it's interesting because like it seems really special to get recognized like that. And I mean, Robbie should just always win awards for anything he ever does. Since he won the sex category that I was in, but everybody in the category deserved it. I don't know. It's hard to say because it's like a hard thing.
Right, it might help you get a few more bucks in a concert. You might be able to charge a few bucks at a festival if you won an award.
Always good.
Yeah. But I agree. Robbie Botosh can just take all the awards. Just give him a bunch of awards.
Just give him all the awards.
Now tonight you are at the Markham Jazz Festival. Tomorrow night you're at the South Coast Jazz Festival in Port Dover.
Yeah.
What do you have lined up? Is the show tonight is your band, right?
Yeah, it's my band. My band is slightly modified, so I got a couple of special guests, and I'm looking forward to that. But it'll be, mostly my original tunes at 7:30 p.m. doing a 90-minute set.
That's fun, right? 1 90-minute set.
Yeah, it's good.
Play through.
Yeah, exactly. You can plan a nice arc to it, and if it's not broken up, you're like, okay, we're gonna start medium, get big, chill out, get big again. Yeah. End the show. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward. I haven't played Markham in maybe 4 years, so yeah, it's great.
And then Port Dover, Eric St. Laurent, David Restivo, all kinds of people out there.
Yeah, that'll be fun. The Port Dover Fest is really cool. It's a little different. I think I played it with Red Hot Ramble last year, the year before, but I haven't been back there.
So you have your debut album out.
Yes.
Which is?
So here we are.
And what's coming next?
Okay. Well, I've got a bunch of tunes and a bunch of half-written tunes in the hopper, and I think it's time to go back to Canterbury Studios and record, and just do a half day and see how that feels, and then go back in. Like I felt with the first album, I learned so much about recording a record.
Didn't you win a contest, an online contest, where people voted for you to get a free album?
Yeah,
wow.
A free day of recording. I know. I mean, that's Jeremy at Canterbury does that, and I think he's actually holding. He's accepting votes right now to do it. Like every year, a deserving musician gets voted to have a day of recording, and I did that. And I would never have started my album otherwise. So that was a huge deal. So,
in my opinion, that's more of an important award than perhaps any other award. People are putting you in a studio, and you're saving a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Good. And it's voted by people they're just everyday people. You're not a social media influencer with 1 million people to write in. These are just fans of yours that wanted you to make a record.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing. That's true, that's the best kind of award, is something like that kind of helps you on your way and comes from the people that you love. So
we can expect some new music from you soon.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, well I'll be keeping an eye out for you, and we will see you tonight in Markham.
Yeah, all right. Thanks,
yay.
James. Cheers.
All right, now did I tell you she is the girl next door? Alison Young, a wonderful sax player and a great person. Okay, this is it. I'm back next Friday. I hope you'll join me for another Jaymz Bee Podcast. See ya.